Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and man, I got to move around and walk around a bit because I'm still a little ticked off. I'm still a lot ticked off, actually, about Sunday's performance. But first and foremost, let me give you a disclaimer. This is going to be a bit of a rant. I'm not going to go crazy, but I'm gonna get some things off my chest about that performance and how I feel in general. But first and foremost, before we do that, let me give credit to the Ravens. You know, a big salute to the Ravens. The Ravens had nothing to play for, and they came out with more aggression. They looked like they wanted the game more than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Point blank. They did their job. They have 5 wins on the season so far with 1 week left. 2 of those wins on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, granted, the first game was against a Michael Vick-led Pittsburgh Steelers, which it's funny, that game was actually a bit closer. A bit closer if you really look at the whole, spectrum of it. A bit tighter game. Weird, right? He makes the throw it a little lower. Antonio Brown catches that ball on 4th down. Game is over. But hey, hindsight is 20/20. But let's talk about this game. And as you can see here, with the terrible towel, I'm showing the terrible. Because that's exactly what we saw on Sunday. Okay, where do we begin? Now, I was traveling. I didn't get to see the beginning of the game. I was traveling. I was away down in Virginia visiting my grandmother and my parents. And I didn't get to see the first quarter. The first drive, I was following it on my phone as I was driving to my grandma's house. I was able to pick it up in the second quarter. But the first thing, I noticed that we drove down the field fairly fast. Looks like we were in position to get some points. All of a sudden, I noticed that the ball is turned over. We're unable to convert a 4th and short. Now, some people will probably attack Coach Tomlin and say, why didn't you go for the 3? But come on. This is where I differ from a lot of so-called fans. I say so-called fans because some fans just casually are a fan of the team. They don't watch the games and really dissect what's happening. They don't watch the game plan. They don't watch preseason, none of that stuff. So they really don't know the coaches, how they behave, how they normally perform, and how, the team plays with this personnel and that personnel, et cetera, et cetera. So to get to my point, I know the way Coach Tomlin coaches. He has told us this for a very long time. He goes with his gut. In that situation, we were able to move the ball fairly well. D'Angelo Williams was having a good outing very early on the ground. He felt confident, get the first down. Come to find out, that play, Big Ben said that I believe Foster, one of those guys, tripped, kind of blew up the play, and we're unable to get it. So I don't have a problem with going for it in that scenario. Try to deliver a blow. Try to get in the end zone and try to set the precedence and the momentum for the game. Because obviously, that's what the Ravens did to us. That, unfortunately, swung the momentum. They go all the way down the field, and they score. There was another play that I actually didn't get to see, but I saw the replay of it later on. The Antonio Brown catch. What is not a catch in the end zone. To me, guys, please tell me in the comments how you feel. That looked like a catch to me. It looked like a catch to me. I know he had it. He kind of pressed it against his, his thigh or whatever. He never lost control of the ball. That should be a catch, especially when it's called a touchdown on the field. So they take that away. But again, that's not the reason we lost the game. Why did we lose the game? The defense. What have I been saying about our defense this entire season? They are unreliable in that secondary. And even in this game, the front 7 didn't really do that much in this game. It was times and in spots the Ravens were able to run the ball, and huge holes, big time holes, just eating up the line of scrimmage. All right. Now, maybe they didn't rush for a crazy amount, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch that game. They had big time runs when they needed them to get the drive started or keep the drive going or what have you. Ridiculous. In the secondary, I don't understand it, man. I just don't understand it. I understand this, and a buddy of mine, and if, I know he's probably going to see this, shout outs to Tony. Buddy of mine advised me that, listen, You know, it is the first year with Keith Butler. You're going to expect, you know, a little bit of, you know, disarray at times, or a little bit of, you know, Dr. Jekyll and, you know, Mr. Hyde, I guess you would say it. You know, you're going to see some lapses at times. Sometimes they'll play good. Other times they might not, because they're getting used to. I understand all of that. But still, some of the things that you see, to me, it looks like individual play. It looks like individual play. For example, and listen, I know no cornerback is just, you know, lock you down all the time. Everybody gets beat. But you see it, you know, like on that play, that big play they had to Givens down the field. You know, you saw on even on Chalk Talk that Tunch Elkin did on Steelers.com, he showed how Boykin did a great job on his man. But William Gay got turned around. The ball goes deep, big time catch, puts Baltimore in prime position. You know, it leads to the go-ahead score. Right? That's an individual effort. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not expecting guys to cover someone or beat them, you know, not get beat at all during the game. But I need to see more consistent play. I need to see more consistent play like we had in the second half against the Broncos. How do you come out and play like that, and then you go into a game against the Ravens? No disrespect to the Ravens. Like I said, I gave them credit in the beginning of this segment. No disrespect to them. But how do you play a team with 4 wins? A 4-10 team with a chance to control your own destiny. How do you come out and play flat like that? All right? Now, y'all know how I feel about the defense. I'm not going to spend the whole time on the defense, because the defense, at the end of the day, they still only surrendered 20 points, which, you know, is not that bad. I think they had a total of 386 yards or what have you, a total offense. Not that bad. At the end of the day, 21 points wins the game, and that's where I'm going to go next. What is up with the offense? What happened to the offense in that game? Oh, more importantly, Big Ben. What happened to Big Ben? You guys know I love Ben. We all do. From when he performs, we know he is definitely a top-notch quarterback. In my opinion, at times, he is an elite quarterback. Probably a Hall of Famer with the 2 Super Bowl wins and things like that. But at the end of the day, you still have to look at each year and each season and each game and make your assessment about your quarterback. This year, he's come up very short in scenarios where we needed to make a play. It is what it is. Maybe it's an off year. Maybe it's lingering effect from injury. I don't know. But look at how many interceptions he has this year. I think right now, I believe it's about 14. He didn't play for 3 or 4 games, folks. I'm just saying. I'm just being a harsh critic. You know, I love my team that much. I'm going to keep it real. I don't care who it is. Ben has not shown up in critical moments so far this year. And maybe I'm missing a couple games here and there, but you guys understand what I'm saying. The first Cincinnati game, we're in position to win that game, 3 turnovers. All right? Most recently against the Ravens, 2 turnovers. Why did it happen? Most of the time, forcing the ball to Antonio Brown. On that first interception, when he tries to force it down the field, you can see clearly on the replay, Heath Miller is wide open. Even D'Angelo Williams is open underneath, but he tries to force it to Brown. And I don't have a problem with you going to your playmaker, but we have other weapons. Manage the clock. Stop forcing everything. And in my opinion, Ben just looked real off. He looked off throughout the whole game, man. Never seemed to get into a rhythm. And then the offensive line, you know, wrong game to, you know, have some letdowns. We gave up 3 sacks, but the Ravens got pressure when they needed it. That one play they showed when, I believe number 90, I think was the guy. I can't remember his name right now. But when he sacked Ben and Ben kind of got twisted over like that, on that play, when they showed the replay, Jesse James was wide open on a post route, a corner route rather. Nobody was there, wide open. But the line caves, we get sacked, and that's just how it went. That's just how the game went the whole game, man. It just never seemed to be in the favor of the Steelers. It just seemed like, I don't know. It just seemed like we were all over the place, man. And You know, those are the type of things that are going to happen when and I don't even want to say when you're not prepared. I'll say when you come out flat. It's a divisional opponent. It is the Ravens. Let's not forget, still probably the best rivalry in football. I don't care what the record is. It's just like when the Cowboys play the Redskins in all these recent years. It ain't matter what the record was. They're going to come to play. You think the Ravens didn't want to have an opportunity to knock us out of the playoffs potentially? They didn't have nothing else to play for but pride. You know why? That's twice. That's a sweep on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are going to finish with a better record. But they can say, yeah, but we beat y'all twice. We still ain't afraid of y'all. You got to get up for that game. After having that huge game against Denver, that comeback like that, right there, that should have been the momentum boost and been like, look, we're going to go take care of business these next 2 weeks. We're going to go into these playoffs and see what happens. Now, look what we got to do now. Now you got to sit and pray, hope and pray. And first of all, let's not get this twisted. Ain't no guarantee that we're going to go beat Cleveland. Judging by the track record, there is no guarantee that we will go into Cleveland and win. Because most people thought, oh, they're going to go into Baltimore and take care of business on that defense that hasn't played that well. It's not a top defense anymore. And look at how they played us. Excellent game plan. So ain't no guarantee that we're going to go in there and beat Cleveland. You think Cleveland ain't looking at the same tape and ain't looking at the same opportunity? We beat them, they don't go to the playoffs? There's no guarantee. But I got to finish with this. I got to put it on that offense. And one last thing. Martavis Bryant. Come on, man. 1 catch for 6 yards. Come on. Come on. I got to pick with you for a moment because you are a great talent. You're going to be a great player. But if you want to be a great player, you need to make the tough catches. You know, I sent a tweet to him last night. Who knows if he saw it? But watching that game, watching AJ Green, how he goes up, snatches the ball out of the air and comes down with. And Martavis Bryant can be that. You have the physical body. You have the physical skill set. Now you just have to go get the ball. Now I understand on that play, you got tripped up a little bit and you fell down. I understand that. But at the end of the day, any receiver will tell you this. On the NFL level, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. You got to come up with that catch. I've seen other receivers make that kind of catch numerous times. Your teammate, Antonio Brown, makes that type of catch numerous times. You make that catch, it could be a different game. Now, I can't put it all on you. I'm just saying. Those are the opportunities for you to become a big player and a key component of a win. And that's how you become an elite receiver. Until you do that, because there's been quite a few this season. Let's go back and look at them. Quite a few times, ball hits you either right in the hands or it's a slightly tough catch and you can't come down with it. You made the great catch at the game that I attended against the Cardinals in the back of the end zone when Landry threw it up and you got hit. That's what I'm talking about. You have the capability. You made that catch. And then it was another catch. I can't remember which game it was. It might have been Cincinnati. But it was that one when you caught it with the fingertips and then, the guy came and knocked the ball out. I know you guys who are watching this remember that. Beautiful. But that's what I'm talking about. Great receivers does that on a consistent basis. Dez Bryant, AJ Green, Antonio Brown, even Beckham is showing that they can make the tough catch when they need to make the tough catch. That's the challenge I have for you, Martavis Bryant. If you see this, I don't know if you will or not. Maybe somebody will see this. Let him know this is what I'm saying. Come on now. The third year will be the charm. We need you to do your thing. You could be a phenomenal receiver in this league, but again, you have to make the tough catches. But last thing I got to say, man, the offense. You can't put up 21 points against that team in that moment, knowing what's on the line. Come on. Come on, man. I'm tired of this. I am tired of this. Of course, as a sports fan, we all know our team can't win all the time. There's no guarantee that you're going to go to the Super Bowl or win the Stanley Cup or whatever your sport is. There's no guarantee. But when you can see where your team could be a great team, that is what's so frustrating. There's no reason in the world why, and I know I'm going to be a little bit biased, you're supposed to, but I'm going to be very fair in the same respect. There's no reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers can't be what the Patriots are. You understand what I'm saying? Every year, they go into the playoffs. That used to be the Steelers. And maybe that's why we get so emotional, because we're used to that. There's no reason why, with the talent that we have offensively, no reason why we can't be that. That's all I got to say. And I'm going to sign off with this. If we beat Cleveland, great. We go 10-6. And remember I said I think a 10-6 record would get us in the playoffs. But that was before New England lost to the Jets. I thought that would be a loss to the Jets. And they won. They're taking care of business. Kansas City running off with it. So we're going to see, man. Go ahead and finish the season 10-6. Either way, that's a nice record. You can kind of say, okay, we did a good job. We can see the opportunities where we could have been better. Arguably, and some people might even say better than this, but arguably, if you look at the season, we could arguably be 13-3 with 2 backup quarterbacks and no Le'Veon Bell. That is crazy. Think about some of those games that we should have won. Again, the first Ravens game. I'm not even going to count this one because they came out and they beat us in this game. We beat ourselves, but they definitely helped with that, how they locked down the offense. But that first game, it was ours to win. Finish 1 or 2 drive, get 1 more first down, game is over. Just that simple. We had opportunities. And there's other games. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Other games, the Cincinnati game, that's another one. Arguably, we could be 13-3 easily. But hey, it's football. That's why we play. That's why they play the game. You never know what's going to happen. So we'll see. We're going to be playing at 1 o'clock along with the Jets. So as we watch our game, we'll be watching the scoreboard. But I have to say, it's a darn shame, man. It's a real shame that we played ourselves out of contention. And now we have to win and wish and hope and pray. But whatever, man. I still love my Steelers. Y'all know how it is. But I got to be mad and be harsh at times because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But anyway, until next week, guys, let's sit back and watch and see what happens. It's been a phenomenal football season. I'm getting a little misty-eyed that it's getting ready to come down to an end, even with the playoffs, even with the Super Bowl. If by chance that happened, there's still only a month or so left of real football. So it's been great, man. But yeah, man, definitely sound off, guys. Let me know what you feel, how y'all felt about the game and all of that. And that's all I got for you, man. So until next time, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I promise it won't hurt you to hit the like button. And we'll see you next week. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.